So, I've pinned my squares together to accommodate for the fact that they have slightly different row gauges and a difference in how the edge treatments. One is a seed stitch right up to the edge, and the other has stockinette stitches slipped. That's not really a bother. We're just going to go ahead and crochet it together regardless. Now I put my hook through the bottom corner stitches. If you've ever picked up stitches in knitting before, like on the heel of a sock, you will know what to look for. You're looking for that V, but in the side, on the stockinette side, or on the side of the seed stitch, we're just looking for a complete stitch, so sort of 2 strands of yarn, and the V is visible here. Anyway, in our first stitch, we put the loop that we made before around the hook after we have it through our 2 squares because we want it to be at the back. Pull that through. That's your connection. You're done. Now, it's so much easier than sewing, don't you think? You don't have to tie down the yarn. I'm going in, as I mentioned, through the stitch on the very edge, and I'm going through, in this case, actually the seam stitch on the blue square. I pull my yarn through, and I keep pulling that same loop through my first one. Next stitch on both sides. Pull it through. I'm going to keep going a little bit here. Pull out the pins as I get to them. You'll notice that because one side is slipped, I'm actually going through those slipped stitches twice. So as you can see, we're about halfway. One of the things I like about it is you get that neat edge that looks like knitted stitches. Crochet often does. And on the other side, you actually can see the little loops going over them. But because it's the blue yarn and the blue yarn, you're not going to notice it very much. Again, I'm going to flip it over and show the other side. You can see when I pull apart, but when I release it, it springs together. I am really looking forward to when I put the backing on this quilt, because I think when I tie down these corners, it's going to look, as I just said the word quilt, it's going to look even more quilted than my other ones so far because of the raised nature of the seaming. You can get the same thing by sewing by using a whole stitch. Usually when I seam, I try to minimize the bulk as much as possible and just go to the very edge. But no more. I'm going to crochet all of my seams henceforward and be happy.